Happy Saturday. We in here. How y'all doing? What's going on, everybody in the chat? Everybody come on up in here. We got a good one today. We got a good show for y'all today. It's going to be entertaining. Hey, man, you got to give me time to get my junk started. Patrick. Dion, what's going on, Mr. Dion White? How you doing today, my brother? Happy Saturday to you as well. And Dion wishes everybody a happy Easter. Y'all be safe out there, out here in these Easter streets. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all better have y'all Easter speeches together. Get your Easter soup together. Go get your pastel pink. You know, all your pastel colors. Your loud pink, that loud lavender. That green, all that stuff there. Renee, what's going on? How you doing? Kiki, how you doing? What's going on? How y'all doing? Happy Saturday. Hey man, we got something. We have an interesting show today. We got Jesse Lee Peterson is sitting down having a conversation with Charleston White. So doing a little research, I found out that this is not their first conversation, but I believe this is their latest conversation because I went through both of Jesse Lee Peterson's channels looking for the full interview. I couldn't find the full interview, but I found enough. But this is one of the latest sit downs that they had. And well, Jesse's Jesse and Charleston is Charleston. So, you know, it's going to be some ignorance all over the place. Jesse is perpetual knee level. Jesse Lee Peterson lives on his knees and he's nourished off of white scrotums. And Charleston White is the consummate grifter. Charleston White is going to play whatever role he needs to play to get the money. He said that. I've heard him say that out of his mouth. He's not a dumb person. Charleston is definitely the more intelligent of the two. But it's going to be interesting. Battle Gendra, what's going on, my brother? What's going on, man? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy Saturday to everybody. Y'all please hit that like button. Come on in here. Please hit that like button. We got a good one. So thank you to everybody who tuned in to our live Friday breakdown yesterday. We had a good conversation, a good show talking about masculinity and manhood and what it is and how it needs to be shaped and what we need to get away from. We're going to see aspects of failed masculinity and failed manhood in this conversation today with Jesse Lee Peterson and Charleston White. You all make the determination which one is worse, but hey, and I don't even think Charleston is bad. I just don't think he's good, if that makes sense. Because I believe Charleston White, well, I know Charleston White is a lot more smarter than what he presents. And even I've heard it out of his mouth, Charleston White talking about how he presents himself as dumb because it gets him further. When he presents himself as an intelligent being, he don't get that far, but when he presents himself as a dumb person, it gets him further. Jesse Lee Peterson ain't playing. He just stupid. He's just stupid. A perpetual knee level, crawls on his belly, and once again is nourished by the scrotum of white men. So, oh yeah, we definitely got to do part two, Dion. We're definitely going to have to talk more about it and do some more Friday live some live Friday breakdowns. Of course, it won't be every Friday. Every Friday, we won't do live breakdowns, but we're definitely going to do more. I appreciate y'all. Pat, you hear that? I know you in the comments, Pat. You hear that? They want more of the other live Friday breakdowns. So get ready to be pissed off if you want to find some good clips for you. So I appreciate everybody for supporting this channel. Remember, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. And when you hit that like button, the hype button should come up. Please hit that hype button so we can get this information out further. More people can come to the channel. More people can support. More people can support what we have going on. YouTube is shadow banning. YouTube is trying to push more of my live videos than anything, and I want to make sure all my videos are pushed. I want to make sure my live videos, my regular uploads, and my shorts continue to be pushed like they were just like a month or two ago. So continue doing that. But thank you to everybody. And I want to give a big shout out to Me Kim Tate as well. I forgot to do it on the live stream last night, but today, Me Kim Tate, I appreciate you for your contributions to this channel. Thank you greatly. You are a long-time supporter of this channel. Thank you for all that you do for this channel. The kids at the school, we get to use the contribution for supplies and things. So thank you very much. And remember, the On the Shoulders of Giants Saturday school is every second and fourth Saturday here in Tallahassee, Florida, from 11 to 1. And we're working on our online component. So parents out there who would like their children to be a part of my On the Shoulders of Giants Black History School Saturday school, we're working on the online component so we can have more children from across the country joining in on this. But like I say, man, we getting it in Charleston White, Jesse Lee Peterson. But before we get deep in this, let me go ahead and run my commercial so we can go ahead and do what we do. So I told y'all I was gonna get my merch shop up and running. So I've got it. So I want to show y'all my merch shop. So this is it. So I got some hats. So I got my On the Shoulders of Giants hats available for order. I have shirts. This supposed to be like a canvas, some kind of shirt, jersey shirt. I don't know why they got that design, but it's a jersey shirt. Somebody wanted. Got hoodies, regular shirts, heavy, what they call it, the heavy tee, tees for men's, unisex tees for women, everything. I got a mug. I gotta get this mug too. But this is the merch that I have available. See, I got my mug, I have my hats, and I have my apparel available. And all of that is, the links and stuff are below and connected to the video. So I got my merch shop up and running, been working on that for a minute in the background to get my merch shop up and running. So I got it up and running. So if you want to support the channel, get you some merch, it's all available. Links below and links attached to the video. Yep. So if you want to support, like I said, the links and all that is attached to the video, as well as scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You see my website, see my book in the background. If you want to support the book series, you want to support the merchandise, all those things are available either through the merch shop attached to this video, or go to my website to support the book series. But we here doing what we do, man, trying to affect the community, trying to uplift as many people as possible, but also making sure we understand what's going on around us and having a little fun doing it as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's not delay this anymore. So I have 3 different videos that we're going to look at today. 3 different videos from the same conversation. For some reason, I could not find the full conversation between Charleston White and Jesse Lee Peterson. Like I said, I combed through both of Jesse Lee Peterson's YouTube channels. I couldn't find the full interview, but I found 3 different clips, 2 from Jesse Lee Peterson's The Fallen State channel, and 1 from, what is this channel? The Apostle. It's another YouTube channel called The Apostle. So this is what we're getting into. So I found the conversation interesting. So the first title is Charleston White accuses Jesse of being disingenuous. The second title is Thank God for Slavery, Charleston White talks race, God, and more. And the third title is Jesse Lee Peterson confronts Charleston White over slavery. This gets uncomfortable. So Black Butterflies, how you doing? How you doing today? All right, so let's get into this first video of Charleston White and Jesse Lee Peterson. This is from Jesse Lee Peterson's Fallen State YouTube channel. So let me share my screen and we get into it. All right, let's do it.
I have with me today Charleston White. He is the founder and CEO of HYPE, which stands for Helping Young People Excel. Charleston, thanks so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, man. So were you raised by both parents? Were both parents in your home growing up?
God damn, Jesse. Jesse didn't warm up. Jesse is a fool, man. He don't warm up or nothing. He just jumped right. So were you raised by both your parents? And he could barely, he has a unique grasp on the English language. But God dang, Jesse. But let me not start stopping already, but I just find it funny. He just jumped right on in there. Like he didn't even warm up nothing. Just jumped right in there. Jesse is a fool.
No, sir. I'm the product of what I like to call the typical traditional African American home, the single parent home, right? 73% of African American homes in this household are headed by single Black mothers, and so I'm the product of that. But back during that time, I was born in '77, so the '80s, there was somewhat of a stigma to single mothers, and then there was not a lot of help for single mothers. And so my mother was the backbone of our family.
Did you have any relationship with your father growing up?
No, sir, I didn't.
No contact at all?
My dad was in the Navy. My dad retired from the Navy and battled with mental illness. And so I probably can count on two hands how many times I've seen my father in my lifetime.
So what was it like for you not seeing him and being with him growing up? Did you yearn for him, or what was it like?
All children, especially boys and girls, yearn for their father. There's a strong desire. Not having a father there, right? And your mother not having the words or the understanding, or maybe the time to explain to you what it's like to not have a father, right? So most single mothers are working. So as a kid, you have questions. Where's my dad? Why is my dad not here? You may have a neighbor. I had a Hispanic guy by the name of Brian Alaniz. Brian Alaniz had a father. So I spent the night at Brian's house. Spending the night at Brian's house gave me a dad at times, right?
Yeah.
So you get to see what a family structure looked like. Then when you go home, you have questions, you have internal thoughts. So as a kid growing up, mom working, so when I'm getting out of school, mom's going to work. You feel unloved, right? You feel rejected. Then that turns into hurt. So there's a pain that just simply revolves around the fact of a father being absent, that this kid is feeling, right? He can't articulate it, right? No one's sitting him down and he's not going through counseling. So that's where the behavior begins to transpire, right?
So I want to stop it right there because I thought that was a good point, because what Charleston is getting at, because this leads into our live stream from last night, where the gentleman was basically saying that fathers aren't needed, and the brand of masculinity that best fits the Black community is a masculinity. And this is this guy's words, the brand of masculinity that will be given by women. It's superior to what a man can offer. Basically, the gentleman last night was saying Black men can't offer the Black community anything. But I like what Charleston is saying here, because Charleston is articulating the outcomes of fatherlessness. He's articulating the hurt, articulating the pain, articulating the anger. If you've never, let me make myself a bit bigger so y'all can see me when I'm talking. If you've never had a conversation with a young Black boy who is expressing the anger and the hurt and the pain that he has from not having a father figure in their life, from not having parents in their life, from not having stability in their lives. Because remember, Charleston started off by saying he was a product of the traditional Black family, which is the single parent home, specifically the single mother home. He articulated as the traditional Black family. It has become the traditional Black family. It has become, for some people, for a portion of the community, it has become what they fight for, right? The single parent home, the single mother home more specifically. And Jesse just out the gate, well, did you grow up with both your parents? And of course Jesse Lee is doing that because Jesse Lee also understands these statistics the same way Charleston understands these statistics, which you articulated. More than 70% of the households. Now, remember, we have to understand what the statistics are saying and understand the reality around it. Now, 70% of our children are born to unwed parents. That doesn't mean the father isn't around, but there's a good chunk of our young men who do not have fathers around. And this is what Charleston is articulating, because like we said in last night's live stream, my mother and my father divorced when I was 5 years old, but my father lived right around the corner though. So my pops was literally a phone call away. He lived, matter of fact, my pops still live around the corner from me right now. My pops is over here cutting my grass yesterday. He still live around the corner, right? So my pops has always been around the corner, plus other men in the life, but you still need both of your parents in your life. Now, I still know that my two younger brothers, because my pops remarried, he's been married for 20 years, and I have two younger brothers. My two younger brothers grew up with my father in the house with them. So they have substance principles and things that me and my older brother don't. So I believe that my younger brothers are going to turn out to be better men than me and my brother, just for simple fact of being able to have that male influence in the house all day, every day. Right. And so that's what I believe. But the community has made fatherlessness a norm. The community have made children out of wedlock a norm. And this is one of the things that Charleston is articulating. And once again, if you've ever worked with young people, if you ever worked in any type of community service, human service capacity within your community, and you've interacted with the youth, especially the youth who come from broken homes, who come from homes where trauma was the norm, who come from parents who don't get along, or parents that are not together, or absent parents, or even like one of the stories that's going viral now. And I don't know why it's going viral now, because that's a story we covered on this channel maybe 2-3 years ago. But the young man who is the 12th grader who's being put back to 9th grade because his grades are trash, and his mother had no idea that his grades was trash, and his grades been trash for 4 years. His mother works 3 jobs. We don't know who his father is. Fathers are needed. Both parents are needed. The mother is not more important than the father, and the father is not more important. That relationship has to be there. That continuity has to be there. So Pat talking about, is Jesse okay? I can't focus on anything else because I keep wondering why he looks. Man, you know, Jesse drank hot dog water. So yeah. Hey, Battle Ganger, you crazy. Somebody talking about Trump. All right, whatever. Mr. Ward, you should have a call in with Jesse Lee Peterson live broadcast and see he would take your phone. I should call him up. Be like, Jesse, you can't talk. What does nature display on this subject? Our anger should be directed by examining customs and habits, which we think is tradition. We have yet to discuss organic relationships absent Euro influence, because we don't have organic relationships absent Euro influence. That's not a thing for Black people. What's going on? What's going on, Kush? I mean, I agree, Jaconda. I agree that we should be talking about concepts and stuff, and on this channel, we do. It might not be in this particular conversation, but on this channel, we do. We always talk about creating our own frameworks and our own habits, our own customs, our own way of life that is free from any kind of Eurocentric, any type of Eurocentric influence. I talk about that all the time on this channel, right? So yeah. Tune in, subscribe, hit that subscribe button and tune in. But we're having a little fun today. But we learning something. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, but that is a good thing, because we do need to be thinking about concepts that are organic to us. You are right. You are correct in that. Trust me, I'm not pushing back on that. I'm not pushing back on it, but I am saying I do talk about those things. It's probably not going to be in this particular show in abundance, but I do talk about those things, especially in my Monday book readings. But you are correct. We do need to be thinking about how do we get ourselves to a point to where we are the strongest influence for ourselves outside of the Europeans. So I'm agreeing with you on that. I agree with you on that. When trauma is normalized, health is foreign. There you go, Chef CT. What's going on? How you doing? I think he said he came from a school and mother went to work, no program, extended family. Hey, he did what Umar, Michelle Alexander, and Irritated Genie couldn't do. I'll drop a link if you want. Yeah, drop that link, Battle Ganja. How is that possible? The names of schools are all Eurocentric based. Well, the names of schools, well, but you don't have, remember, you don't have to go to school to learn. You know what I'm saying? Just that simple. We don't have to go to school to learn. So we could be teaching our own. It's a lot of information out there that we could be teaching ourselves. But let's get back to the conversation, though.
So you're feeling unloved, you're feeling abandoned, you're feeling rejected. That hurt begins to turn into anger, but the anger is just a smoke screen, right? You really want, so as a young man, I got all these emotions inside of me. And so when I get to school, I got the PE coach, I got the math teacher, or I got the school police officer.
I appreciate
when he confronts me, hey, young man, you need to pull your pants up. Well, all these emotions causes me to resent him. So I got this displaced anger, right? He's done nothing to me, but he's a man. He's a male authority figure, and I want him to come home with me. I wish he can come home with me. So I resent you telling me what to do, trying to correct me.
Listen,
you can't come home with me. So I begin to hate you, and I begin to.
I want him to say that again.
Figure, and I want him to up. Well,
I want him to say that again. I want us to hear what he's saying again. Let's listen to what he's saying again. It's important. Like I told you, Charleston ain't stupid. He know how to play stupid, but Charleston ain't stupid.
All these emotions causes me to resent him. So I got this displaced anger, right? He's done nothing to me, but he's a man. He's a male authority figure, and I want him to come home with me. I wish he can come home with me. So I resent you telling me what to do, trying to correct me, and you can't come home with me. So I began to hate you, and I began to despise other men, other male authority figures, mainly other black men.
So I read that you ended up becoming a.
And so I do, and we can't just gloss past that. We can't just gloss past what Charleston said. And let's remember one of the reasons why they are where they are in this conversation is Jesse Lee Peterson kind of threw that out to take shots at black people, as if Jesse Lee Peterson is helping to make Black America better. Remember, Jesse Lee Peterson is all about making sure white people are better. But Charleston White just is talking about the young black male who is craving structure, craving authority, craving a father in his life, craving that male presence, craving that in his life. And the resentment doesn't come from what he's saying. The resentment doesn't come from having somebody discipline you. The resentment comes from, that's not my father, and this person will never be my father, and this person can never come home and make my home life right and make my life better. And so there's resentment, there's anger because of how he's saying, because the young man knows that this is a good person that I should have in my life, but this person will never be in my life the way I want him in my life. So we're talking about the state of our community. Look, I've worked in the community for a long time. We're not in a good state. We're not in a good state. And that's one of the things that I want us to look at in this conversation that Charleston is talking about. Even though Jesse Lee Peterson is trying to take shots at the same community, he takes a crap on. Even though white America is always laughing at Jesse. And if you could just look at Jesse, you could see something is wrong with him. Jesse looks like the person who he always forget to wear his helmet. We have to add having the right qualified man is important than just having, you're right. And see, that's what our live stream last night was talking about. Like, because there's a difference between males and men. Because I've seen a good number of videos, and I've come across a good number of youth who do have males in their life who are their fathers, but they're not men. And so the outcomes are the same. So yeah. So please hit that like button, y'all. Please hit that like button. Let's go.
Part of a gang when you were younger. What made you?
Go ahead.
Listen to what he's getting into now.
What made you get involved with gangs? What made you get involved with them?
It was everything I was looking for. Coming from a single parent home, never been spanked by a man, never been disciplined by a man, never been corrected by a man, never been hugged by a man, never had a man say I'm proud of you.
Okira.
Never heard a man say I love you. So the older guys in the game gave me the affirmation that I sought to have from a father figure.
Did you know at the time you were doing it because you were looking for the love of a father?
No. You talking about a child with an undeveloped brain. They don't know what they do. Yeah, you talking about an undeveloped brain kid. Everything that a kid does is all impulsiveness, right? Based on what they feel or what their friends are doing. I just wanted to belong. It wasn't a matter. When you're going through what you're going through as a kid, you don't know I'm doing this because dad's not there.
Right.
You just know you feel something.
Yeah.
You just know you was born into a condition. You was born into a situation where your dad's not around. You don't know that's not normal. So I met a kid. Go ahead. I met a kid once before here recently, and he's had both his mom and his dad. And so I asked him, hey, what's it like to have both your mom and your dad?
Yeah.
He couldn't understand what I was saying because he don't know what it's like not to have it.
That's right.
So to grow up and every child you see don't have a dad, that becomes normal. It's the house with the dad that everybody say, hey man, they got a dad over there. So you don't know until you grow up and you can look at your life and assess your life where you can start connecting the dots. But when you're a kid, it's your environment, it's the conditions, it's your nurture, the foundation of your home life dictates what you're gonna go outside and become.
It's interesting. It's interesting in that.
So yes, and Okira, I appreciate you saying that because you getting it. You getting one of the things highlighting that we're highlighting today. Two different forms of self-hatred. Same system, right? Charleston White does his way. Jesse Lee Peterson does his way. But we're seeing how the system of white supremacy, how the effects happen on black people, but black men specifically from this video, right? Because that's what makes this interview very polarizing, is how we view these two men. Charleston White is viewed as the hood, the old hood unk who crazy as hell, who just say whatever's on his mind, who was a broken clock that'll say something smart twice a day, but for the most part, and he's funny. Jesse Lee Peterson capes for white people, and he's funny. Two polarizing people. Their personalities garner attention. People listen to what they say to either agree or disagree or even laugh at them. But once again, two different forms of self-hatred on display. In this, we're listening to Charleston White articulate how he grew to hate himself, how he never learned to love himself. Now, of course, we've heard some of Jesse's story growing up in the rural South and all these things here. Jesse Lee is one of those dudes who he never thought that his environment was good enough. He always thought the white environment was good enough. So that's where we are with Jesse Lee. But they are, Charleston is talking about the need to belong, the need for love, the need for family, the need for structure, the need for these things. Somebody like Jesse Lee Peterson, if you listen to Jesse Lee Peterson, you would think that all black people are just straight fools. There's no love in our community. There's no family in our community. I was thinking about this earlier this morning. Out of the group of friends that I grew up with, let's say if it was 12 of us, maybe 5 of us grew up in single parent households, but the majority of us grew up in 2-parent households. Of course, there are less 2-parent households now, but 2-parent households do exist as far as marriage. But the more so 2-parent households today are both parents parenting from their own separate households rather than being in the same house. So that's another thing too to remember in this. This conversation doesn't mean that black fathers are totally absent. Remember, CDC already told us the black fathers are the most involved. And that's another thing of the pushback in this. There are things that we can learn, but we also have to listen to everything they're saying. And is it true? Is it backed by fact? Well, because once again, Jesse Lee Peterson likes to paint the narrative that black fathers don't exist at all. And that's bull. And I am legendary artist. How you doing? You say, always remember that the mother gets the father out of the paint, and then they will try to make him out to be a deadbeat. Hey, you have a good number of women who do that. But also, men, we have to make sure that we're making babies with women who are actually good people and don't just have that good stuff. The more men that are making babies with women who are good people, the less those men will go through those situations. Said the resentment is via sociopathic separation instilled in a broken, division-based population that thrives on the framework of my personal savior, God, house, if not mirroring the Trinity is shunned. Hey. Kush says, I'm a roll with Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. No kids before 35 or males before 30 or females. I mean, I hear Dr. Francis Cress Wilson on that, and I thought about that for a while, and for a minute I thought I agreed with that, but I'm not against it, but I'm not 100% for it. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. But I understand the reason for her saying that, but I'm kind of 50-50 on that, Generalizations are dangerous. We must not sell the idea that most African Americans are raised without strong males, cousins, uncles. You're right, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Like, we have to understand this when they talk about the statistics, they're talking about children who are not born in married households. They're not, but when they say that, they frame it as if the father is not in the house at all, which is bull. Black men are the most involved. Yeah. Broken disrespectful uncle versus ignorant Theotard uncle, both in the throttle, okiophobia. There you go. Yeah. Say, and strap it up if you can't keep it in your pants. Hey man, now we asking people to be responsible. Let's keep going. Please hit that like button.
Your mother brought you out of poverty, or and bought a home. She got a job. And you and your brother ended up with your own rooms and everything. And yet that wasn't enough for you. Because I read that you decided to run away from home and go on a crime spree, which led you to murder at 14 and go to prison and all that. So it's interesting how I've
never been to prison.
I mean, jail.
Let me just say this.
To jail, right?
I went to juvenile. I went to a boys' home.
Oh, okay.
Let me just say this.
Okay.
Culture, right? Culture is way more influential, way more powerful than home life, upbringing. Let me give you an example. There was a time when black people hung from trees, and there was white people standing in the crowd saying, I don't agree with that. But they wasn't gonna speak out because culturally it was okay to hang. There was a time when white people said it was okay to enslave black people, but there was a part of the people that says, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
But culture says We're gonna do it.
Influence of culture is powerful.
You put your head down based on what you was raised, but overall, the culture influences it all, right? That's why culture is so strong and so impactful. So here I am. I'm born into a culture that goes against what my mother teaches us.
Yeah.
I'm born where my culture, I got my mom saying, you need to go to work. I got an uncle who I see on a regular basis by way of being family members. He a pimp. I got a grandfather who sells drugs. I got another uncle who sells drugs. When I look across the street, I got another neighbor, he's getting out of jail for robbery. My cousin. So when I come inside and I cut my television on, I'm born in 1977. Think about the culture then. Pimps was glorified during the black exploitation film era.
Yeah.
Superfly, the Mac. So I'm growing up watching all of this on the culture. I got a mother going to work. My culture don't show me mama going to work, but I see mama going to work. All the things that my culture present to me is negative.
Yeah.
And I have these same negative images, not just in my family, they in the community, they at my friend's house, they outside the school. So biblically, my mother says that the Bible says a son can do nothing without his father, that he can only do what he see his father does. So if there's no father around, who do you mimic, mama? So I know a lot of young boys who didn't have no uncles, didn't have no brothers, didn't have no male cousins. So they was the little boy sitting down peeing outside when we were standing up peeing. So I seen a whole lot of little boys who was mimicking mama. So they sat down and pee until they went to school.
Yeah.
So I had uncles and mimic, right? So Confucius said, he who controls images controls minds. My little mind was being controlled based on me being young with a young, impressionable mind. So it's not that I went against my mother. I have a culture. You got NWA, the police. So all of this is being pushed upon us as children culturally.
Yeah.
Boys in the hood, menace to society. They take away the Cosby Show. They take away a different world. So culturally, man, all the negative images is being propagated to me. So I literally grew up believing that men, for one, don't work, because I never seen a man get up and go to work. I grew up believing that men went to prison and went to jail. So I aspired to be a man. How do you become a man? Amazing. You gotta go to jail. So I want to be a man. I heard what you saying, mama. You're a woman, but I want to be a man.
Yeah.
So, I set out to be a man.
So when you were hurt.
So I hear Charleston. I hear him. But as an adult, I hope he doesn't still think like that as an adult. And the reason why I say that is because my upbringing, same type of environment, same type of influences for the most part, but I had a father in my life. Charleston White didn't have a father in his life. My father has worked three jobs his whole life. Every man that I know that was a respected man worked, took care of their business, took care of their children, took care of their wives, took care of their homes, took care of their communities. Matter of fact, the men that I respect that we consider men are still doing that to this day. I don't know a man who I respect as a man, who's not just a male, but I respect as a man who isn't taking care of his responsibilities. See, I grew up in an environment where I saw both. I could see the men standing on the corner doing nothing all day. And then I see the men passing by them going to do something. So I hear Charleston, but I challenge Charleston to make sure, well, if he still thinks like that, I challenge him to go really immerse himself further into black culture, black male culture. because there's some outstanding Black men out here who are doing great and who have done great things in their community, who still doing great things in their community, whether they get rewarded for it or not. They're impacting their communities, right? And so once again, I hear him, and I understand that young men grow up in environments like that. But also, that's why we always challenge the community to be a community and wrap your arms around the young men. But also the parents, like we said last night, the parents are supposed to make an effort to make sure if you're a single father and you have a daughter, you're supposed to make the effort to make sure your daughter has the proper female influences in her life. Same if you're a single mother and you got a son or sons, you're supposed to take the step to make the effort to make sure that your sons have the proper male influences in their lives. There's no way that your children should grow up without any type of positive influences in their life, because one of the things I do agree with Charleston, what he's saying is talking about the influence of the culture, social pressure, the social influences. It's heavy. It's heavy. It matters. If we're always talking about, if you don't have a strong foundation within your house, everything outside of the house is going to grab your child and 100% control your child. Because whether you even if you put a foundation, you instill a solid foundation in your child, 75% of the stuff that influences your child will be outside of the house. And especially nowadays, these kids have grown up in front of tablets and in front of screens and all these things. So the culture that they grow up in matters. That's why we have to make sure that we are the best versions of ourselves, and we're connecting with others, and we put ourselves and our children in environments that are the best for them, in environments. And remember, environments that are the best for them ain't white environments, ain't necessarily white environments. Let's start acting like Black people don't have good neighborhoods. Black people do have good neighborhoods. Black people do have good communities. Now, we're just so happen to be talking to a Black person who didn't come from one, but that's his story. That's a story. And it may be a common story, but it's not the story for Black people. And there are a lot of Black men who grow up with positive male influences in their lives. Tristan says the thing about Charleston is he was heavy into Black liberation to the point where he was beefing with the cops. He changed his future when he saw how much the community support him. And I hear you and I hear that, but Charleston White got to take a ticket and get in line. It comes with the territory. I mean, hey, hell, I'm still here. Pat still here, PC still here. A lot of us are still here fighting for the same community. At some point, you get an understanding to know that most of the community is not going to support you. But if you understand what white supremacy is and how it affected us, you will understand that most of the community won't support you. Most of the community has never supported. Most of the community didn't support Martin Luther King. Most of the community didn't support Malcolm. But it's not your why has to be bigger than community support. You're right. Most of the community is not going to support you. Black people's minds are all blended up. We ain't right. Most of the community will not support you. Most of the people who are fighting to make the community better, most of the community will not support you. But what is your why? The why is because no matter what, we are going to work to make sure that we create a better future for ourselves. So I hear that. And I've even had those conversations with my friends and myself, like, what are we doing this for? But at the end of the conversation, we come up with our why, because we want a better future. So I hear Charleston, but as a man, I tell him to put his big boy britches on, get a ticket and get in line. You either for the community getting better or you ain't. Get out your feelings. I hear him, but you got to get out his feelings on that. So, it was something else. What it was? I mean, Kush. No, I hear you, Kush. Because I know we were talking about the thing Dr. Francis Cress Welsing saying making babies at 30 and 35. Nah, but also Black people, we don't push family planning. We don't even talk about family planning. Family planning is something that the Black community, we do not give a damn about, and that needs to be more of a priority for us. Too often now people ignore scientific studies on biology, psychology, meaning if you don't know about the honeymoon phase of a relationship or the 8th area of people activity, we see the real person too late. There you go. Damn right, those are respectable men. I wish we could have a real non-biased discussion about the patriotic framework people attempt, but their philosophical bias always show up through yielding the 3 T's. Hey. Genja, I'm not sure what the 3 T's are, but what you said seems legit. The only solution that I see is to use the momentum that is influencing our youth. Well, I say the people who give a damn about our youth need to be out. The people who say they give a damn about our youth need to be out there giving a damn about our youth together. We're not going to get most of the people, but as long as we have enough people, we can do something. We can do something. So yeah, we're doing it for a better tomorrow. We're doing it for a better tomorrow. So yeah, they grow up with the tablets, but who buys them? Who thinks they need one? We see the Nintendo in our generation, the adults is ignorant to the problems they. Well, of course, at the end of the day, yes, Battle Genja, you are correct. At the end of the day, the adults are the problem. The adults are failing the children. And that's one thing that Charleston is articulating, the adults failing the children. That's what we get to. But let's go ahead and continue this. Let's continue so we can get through this first one.
Someone, did it ease your pain?
No. Hurt people, but hurting people don't take away your hurt. You just hurt other people. No, it don't. You're as a kid, you can't process this. You're trying to ask logical questions for a kid to give answers to an adult when the brain process
not developed.
All the medical, all the data, all the science and research that we have in this country says the human brain does not develop to at or around age 25. That's why the insurance rates don't go down till after 25. So they got this information. So when you got a kid that grew up in a single parent home, just take me for instance. I've never been abused, hadn't been molested, never seen my mama get beat up, didn't grow up in a violent neighborhood. My mother wasn't on drugs. So I just grew up without a father.
Yeah.
Right? But I had a loving mother who instilled right and wrong, morals and values, but she had to go to work. And she provided a great home life for us, right? But she had to go to work. So when I was getting out of school, my mother was going to work. What does that leave me? No parental supervision. We got all the food in the house.
Lack of family planning.
My mother's saying, leave your homework out. When I come home, I'm checking your homework. I'm calling at such and such time. So we knew what time my mother breaks were. I got an older brother who a couple years older than me. They're gonna get in trouble. Boys are gonna be boys. Kids are gonna be kids. Teenagers are gonna be teenagers. The element of all of this is not the single mother. It's the village. It don't take a mother and a father to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a child.
But the adults don't want that.
Keep saying, what about the mother and the father? What about the village?
How long were you in juvenile?
I spent right at 7.
It's on us adults to create the village. The village won't happen until us adults get our heads out of our ass and create a real village and stop all this individual stuff. Because our children, what he's articulating is our children are by themselves. Our children are literally raising themselves. Little young baby thug, what's going on, man? Say, I read Stolen Legacy and I was convinced that everything would fall into place if the kids really knew how much we contributed to society, understood our place in history. I thought, you know what, Tristan, I did the same thing. I read Stolen Legacy, but I had the ideology that things would fall in place if our children knew our history. But then I started learning more about how we truly empower ourselves and how societies and stuff and nations are really structured and stuff. And then I realized that learning the information is one thing, but we don't apply the information that we learn. We just learn it. Because if you think about it, like we have at least 2-3 generations of people who've learned the history, but they haven't built anything sustainable for us. And so my thing is, what I'll start telling myself is, okay, we can learn this information, but what did I learn from this information, and how do I use what I learned from this information? Right. What does it take to raise a village? I think the first thing it takes to raise a village is competent adults creating competent and healthy families. Competent, healthy adults creating competent, healthy families. That's one thing I think it takes, like one of the foundations of a village. If anybody has read Needle Fuller Jr., We should know the 3 T's. Tacky. Oh yeah, tacky, tragic, and terroristic. Yeah. Book right here. Trashy, tacky, and terroristic. You go to book right here. Yeah. So let's keep going. But now I'm with you, Tristan. Like I thought that too. I thought that too. But then, like I say, and growing up in a college town, I was like, I see a lot of people who know a lot of this information, but they haven't built anything. So we got to be able to use the information. Yeah. B3 Con, why you can't stand the village talk? What's wrong with the village talk? Like, we need a village. Why you can't stand the village talk? We need to be creating the village. If you're talking about people who just talking about the village, I get it, but we need the village. We need to talk about the village and not just talk about it. Go on and creating a village, because the village is what we need. Right. Yeah, Dion. Dion. That's a whole nother show right there, Dion.
7 years from the age 14 to 21, best time of my life. We were considered the worst. We're the first generation of children
nemesis
in the state of Texas who began committing these murders. I'm the super predator generation, right? We're the first generation of kids outside of California, Chicago, New York, and Philadelphia, where children were committing murder. So this was in the late 80s, early 90s, where they said, hey, we got a wave of black children that's gonna be born, and they're gonna be super predators. Are you promoting families? They're gonna be bigger, they're gonna be faster, they're gonna be stronger, they're gonna be hard.
So we need families to make a village, right? So help me understand where you're coming from. Because you're saying because communities are built by families, right? We talk about that all the time. So why you hate talking about the village?
And they're going to be incorrigible. That's what your Democratic leadership said. They're going to be incorrigible. And the word incorrigible said that we weren't going to be able to change. So when they made that statement, when Joe Biden made that statement, and Hillary Clinton made that statement, it sent a shock wave of fear through America. And so they started making laws, tough on juvenile crime. So they started sentencing 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds in this country, giving them life without parole, with no possibility of ever getting out of prison for things that they was doing at age 12 and 13 and 14 years old. So I fell in that first group of children. It's just that I had a governor. I went into a juvenile facility where people was working with children who committed some of the most heinous crimes. I'm talking about some of the most heinous crimes in the history of this state. And they still treated us like children.
Because of time, I want to ask you a few other things here. Do you believe that, I know that there's no such thing as racism. I believe that our battle is a spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong. And no such thing as racism. It's a spiritual battle.
We not dealing with, that's why I say racism is so far embedded. My generation can't see it. We don't know what race. So I'm with you on that. Yeah. I'm with you. We looking for racism, and racism is too deep for us to see.
Not understanding what you see when it comes to racism and racism not existing are two different things. Oh yeah, you already Tristan, you already knew it was gonna happen. You already knew it was happening. But Jesse, I bet you some white man in the background say, Jesse, you gotta do your thing now. Because here we go. But once again, this is a lack of understanding of racism, right? Because yes, it is right, amazing, right? It is deeply embedded in the system. It is deeply embedded in the culture, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and that doesn't mean it's not a problem. Just because you don't understand it and can't articulate it does not remove the problem. Years ago, 100, 200 years ago, if somebody had psychosis, they couldn't necessarily understand it in diagnosis. That don't remove the psychosis. And just because Jesse Lee Peterson doesn't believe racism exists doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because racism doesn't look the way it used to look doesn't mean it doesn't exist. We're talking about a system of domination over all 9 areas of human activity. And it's not supposed to be in your face because racism or the system of white supremacy has refined itself over the years, over the decades, over the centuries, to where it doesn't have to be brutal. It doesn't have to be physical. It doesn't have to be in your face. It can be more subtle. It can come in the form of the Democratic Party acting like they're your friends and making sure you get no gains. It could come in the form of the Republican Party, who are, once again, they're not even acting like they're your friends, but they are making sure you get no gains, where the system is set up and designed to make sure you get no gains as a group of people. Just because an individual can achieve something doesn't mean that the system of racism don't exist. Matter of fact, the system of racism is designed for individual belly crawling blacks to make sure that they can feel like they're rising. Hey, man. Hey, yeah. But here we go. We knew the conversation was gonna take this turn. The Observer Melanin says the parents are grandparents, aren't they? The parents are grandparents, aren't they? I don't know what that means. The grandparents feel a responsibility to the survival of their kids. That's good. That's good. I don't know what the first part means. Families are the village. Yep. Everyone looks out for everyone. We have to start sitting in a circle again, one person in front talking. Talking is a European modality. Whatever we are talking about is to start with the perspectives in the circle. There you go. We need to get back together. We do. We need to get back together. Yeah, you already know. Thank you. Thank you. I'm done. Thank you very much. You said that's the white league, sir. What that? I don't know what that means. Love muscle. What does that mean? That's the white league, sir. What does that mean? Just trying to make sure I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You got to go deal with an old motherfucker to deal with racism.
No, you don't.
We dealing with good and bad.
Yeah.
Right and wrong.
Yeah. And so, would you call yourself an alpha male or beta male?
Shit, I'm whatever I need to be. Yeah, shit. You talking about I ain't nothing.
Listen to what Charles
I'm whatever I need to be. Yeah, you talking about I'll be a beta male to get what I want.
See?
Yeah. No, man, I ain't trying to be nothing all the time.
What is a man?
I ain't never seen now, brother.
So you don't know what it is?
Nah, I was raised by my mama.
So you can't tell me Charleston White at his age has never seen a man ever in his life. That's crazy. And he lying now. And once again, he loves to play the role. And he's playing the role well in this interview with Jesse Lee Peterson. So
and what is love?
Thank you, Tristan.
Love is action.
And what do you mean by that?
Love is what you do. It ain't what you say. Love is about not what you can give, but how much can you take. See, most people think, oh, I love you, so I give you this. No, I don't give a what you give me. How much can you take from me? How much can you put up with me? If you love me.
That's toxic.
See, most people really quit you, homie, at the first sight of a flaw. I may have an issue, and my only issue is I keep doing this same issue. You go get, how much do you love me to put up with that and hope that I can overcome that issue? So I understand what love is. It ain't about what you can give me, it's about what you can take. I don't have a problem.
Wake up fast.
My love is about use. When you go to misusing me, that's when you don't love me, but you can use me and love me. It's when you misuse me when I think you don't love me, because if you misuse me, you'll start abusing me. But if we're in a relationship, if we're in a partnership, if we're in a friendship, our ability to grow with one another is our ability to use one another.
So do you love all people?
Hell no.
It's not our ability to use one another. It's our ability to be able to complement and help one another. Our ability to grow together is tied to our ability to help each other, not use each other, to help each other. Charleston White, but understand, remember, Charleston White comes from toxicity. That's all the way he's communicating and the character he's choosing to play right now. The character he's choosing to play right now comes from toxicity. Everything about this character, everything about this Charleston is toxic. So he would say that love is something that puts you in a position to be used. No. We help each other grow. We don't use it. We're not going to grow if we're using each other. We're going to grow if we're pouring into each other. And love muscle. I hate what you're saying. You're saying this is what happens when you don't follow scriptural law. Well, Jesse Lee Peterson claims to be a stout Christian. Jesse Lee Peterson claims to be a stout Christian following the scriptures. So Jesse Lee Peterson is following the white Christian nationalism scriptures. So I will say that. He may not be following the same scriptures you talk about, but he is following spiritual doctrines, which he said he's a self-proclaimed Christian that's following Jesus. So tell him, Tristan, his interpersonal scheme is concerning. Hey. Well, see, that's why people have to understand when somebody tells you that they play certain roles, understand that and go with that. Never forget that. There's a difference of following the law and white supremacies. I'm just saying he following scriptures. You said he follows scripture. You said that's what happens when people don't follow scriptures. I don't disagree with you, but I'm just saying Jesse Lee is following scriptures. Yeah, love is attention. Love is pouring into people. Love is like one of the analogies I heard about love. So it's like the person who loves flowers, who's walking through the forest and they love flowers. So you come across this rose bush and you see the roses in the rose bush. The person who loves the flowers won't pick the rose from the rose bush. The person who loves the flower will pour into the rose bush and nourish the rose bush. The person who doesn't love the flower will pick the flower and take it home and watch the flower die. Hey, I'm just saying, Charleston White is articulating toxic love. Hey, love muscle. Hey, I'm just messing with you a little bit, but yeah. Like I said, I don't disagree with you. I'm just messing with you a little bit. I don't disagree with you, but Jesse Lee does tout himself as a stout Christian.
You don't love all people?
No, man, I don't love no gang banging mother shooting up my neighborhood. I don't love gang members.
But why not? They can't help it because they are in anger too. They can't understand what they're doing because they didn't have a father to guide them. Why don't you love them?
You ain't never heard me say no shit like that. You ain't never heard me say I went out and killed somebody because I ain't have no fault.
Well, you just said because you were looking for that father.
I didn't say we killed nobody because we were looking for nothing.
No, I'm talking about joining a gang and things like that.
I told you as a kid, I didn't know I was looking for no daddy. I didn't know I was out doing this.
But they don't either.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I was willing to pay for my wrong.
Right, but do you understand that the other gang members? But do you understand that the other gang members are looking for a father as well, and they don't know it?
Listen. It's a whole lot of gang members ain't looking for no goddamn father.
Why do you say that?
Well, because I know I was in the gang with them. Listen, hold on. You speaking from a stadium way up there in the stands trying to dictate to the players down on the field. You spinning the bullshit narrative, Mr. Peterson.
Get him.
Listen, you trying to spin a narrative of children join gangs, not grown adults with fully functional developed brains. No kid is saying, hey, I'm joining the gang because I'm looking for daddy. It's the attributes that the gang have available for the kid that replaces what the father didn't get don't provide in the home.
There you go.
So don't spin that narrative, homie.
But do you believe that if those adult gang members had fathers growing up, would they be in a gang? Would they be a part of a gang as an adult?
Listen, I know who had daddies and mamas join the gang. I know guys that had, I know
I've seen that as well.
Affluent people who join gangs with mothers and fathers.
And why would they join them?
I don't know. I ain't had a mother and father to be able to
know, but have you ever asked those grown ones, the ones you ran into?
Listen. I don't know no grown people join gangs.
those, especially, I can't speak for people from other communities. Those black people who join gangs who come from affluent communities and two-parent households, those are the people who don't feel like they're black enough. Those are the people who brought into the narratives of the toxic blackness, toxic black culture, the ghetto stuff. That's how we are. And they don't think they're authentic black because they come from people who are something, and they don't come from poverty. Those are the black people who think poverty is true blackness. Those are the people who are stupid. But you do have that. I have seen that. I've seen that. Yeah. Both of them are lost. Both of them are lost. And 3J's, you're right. People do join gangs looking for love. It's funny how Jesse Lee Peterson acts like he doesn't know, and he works for the bond. He works for bond. Yeah, but you know, Jesse. I think Jesse Lee has a smooth brain. So, yeah. Now you're right, Love Monster. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't go.
I don't know no grown-up join gangs.
Oh,
you're talking about children with undeveloped brains, mostly come from traumatic childhood background,
not out here joining the games,
dealing with mental health and substance abuse problems.
But the children are, because the coach
they go join.
And so, but you never ran into adult along your way of life since being in the world. Have you, especially since being out and now you understand what's going on? Have you ever ran into adult men or women who are in gangs and they didn't explain why? You never ran into that?
I used to teach a class, and I want you to hear me good. I used to teach a class for all the adult prisoners that came back to Fort Worth, Texas, that was released from prison. At the Central Parole Office on McCart. I used to teach the class every Tuesday and Thursday with an organization with other chaplains. The main chaplain was Chaplain Jerry Carver with Welcome Back Tarrant County. And I tell you, I have never met a grown adult member to coincide with what you're saying, brother. Maybe you should come down here and meet some of these gangbanging. I lived in LA with them. I know all the most of the original founders of the sets. I've been inside the juvenile facilities. I've been inside the prison. Right now, I teach an anti-gang cognitive intervention inside the schools that 5 other schools just picked up. I got 20 other men, all businessmen, former NBA players, NFL players, rappers managers, all coming to these schools with me to teach this gang program. And I'm telling you, I have never seen a grown adult give the reasons of the narrative of what you're trying to spin right now, fam.
So let me ask America, are you proud to be an American?
When the DC snipers was doing what they was doing.
What do you mean by that?
Hey, but we're talking about communal failure, though. We're talking about cultural failure. We're talking because, you know, we're talking about building community, because I agree with Battle Genji's comment talking about we don't have communities, we have neighborhoods. You know, Dr. Amos Wilson has articulated that. Francis Cress Wilson has articulated that. Neely Fuller have articulated that. You know, neighborhoods is where people don't sustain themselves. Neighborhoods are areas where people just live, right? And so since the community or no family structure, little to no family structure, which will mean that we don't have a true neighborhood structure, which means we don't have a true community structure. So I say it all the time. I say I'm gonna start saying it a lot more. We're no longer Black America. We're just a bunch of Black people in America trying to get it, trying to survive. Going back to what Dr. Francis Cress Wilson even said, we don't have families. We have survival units. We are lost. And most of us have no desire to be found. Most of us have no desire to get our minds right, to make sure our future is together, to make sure our children are honest, our children are together. So yeah. So I'm agreeing with y'all comments. I'm agreeing with y'all comments because we got to get it better. We got to be better. Hey, yeah. Adults join the the professional gangs. Trio Tiamo. Adults join the professional gangs. There you go. Right. I'm with you on that. Adults do join the professional gangs. And yeah, it's a lot of spiritual warfare going on here, Black Butterflies. It's a lot. Yes, the village is supposed to raise the children. Yes. Do you not agree? Because we're talking about, in addition to the mother and the father, we're talking about aunts, uncles, granddad, grandmama, cousins, neighbors, all those things. Yes. For Black people, for African people, traditional, for us, historically, the village have raised our children. We understand that. Oh, yeah, it all starts with the family. The village starts with the family, but the village raised the children. Yes.
When Gavin Long and Makai Johnson died,
yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. I was proud to be an American.
How about now?
Yeah. The shit I done got to do to white hoes and white people and get away with, man. I'm so goddamn proud America gives second chances. Most Black men won't never get to kill a white man and talk about it. So you goddamn right, I'm proud to be American. I got to stand over a white boy and watch him die and tell my grandkids what kind of facial expressions they make.
And so you love America?
Listen, right now, I know it's a white boy with a pair of a leather jacket made out of a bag. It's a white boy right now, every family reunion, every Christmas, he bring out some ears they cut off.
That's the end of that one. So I do have 2 other clips. That's the end of that one. Let me see. 3J's, what you're saying that's not true. Everyone is still here because they're hoping tomorrow is better. What is that? And what's that response to? So I can make sure I understand what you're saying. So Euro framework is administrative, legal, or religious requirements such as having a church, a post office, or a specific town charter, which is specific to Western history. Paula says they took programs away for young people to direct their energy to be a positive place. True, but they didn't take away the adults. So nothing is stopping us adults for providing what we can for our children to have these places where they can get the energy out, where they can learn. Because you got to remember, nothing is stopping all the adults in my neighborhood right now from getting together and making sure the kids got what they need. Nothing is stopping the adults in all these neighborhoods of doing that. It's not the system's job, and it's not white folk job to make sure we have what we need. It's our job to make sure we have what we need. Whether they take things away or not, we still have to be able to provide what we can for our children. And we can't be like, oh man, well, they took it away, so we can't do it now. No, find a way to make it happen. We have to find a way to make it happen for our children. If we're serious about our children, we have to this comment, what I'm about to say, this is not directed towards you, Paula. So I want to preface this. This is not directed toward you, but a lot of our adults are lazy. Let's just call it what it is. A lot of our adults are lazy and they don't want to do the work to make sure that the children are better, which is a problem. So let me read some more of these comments before we get to the next clip. It says, study Dr. Calhoun's Universe 25 experiment for the children. Watch The Secret of NIHM. I got to check that out. I have to check that out. We seem to have forgotten how to create families. I don't think to be honest, Cleveland, I don't think we ever really knew how to create families. I think Black people in America always only knew how to create survival units because we've always existed in environments where survival was imminent. And we called survival units families because we had better morals and values. We were closer to families then. Our survival units were closer to families. They closely mirrored families. Now that veil is off and it is what it is. So, but we have forgotten how to get along. I will say that. I'm agreeing with you on that. Overall, I agree with your sentiment. We've forgotten how to get along and build and be together. He's leaving justly speechless. Hey, man. Hey, I told you, Charleston ain't stupid. He like to play stupid. Hope is not a strategy, bro. Then watch they clone Tyrone and stop laughing. I remember they cloned Tyrone. That's just how they make niggas. I'm saying that definitely as a social scientist that tackled this question in and out of the Eurocentric versus ethnic stipulation. Is a family and a village a synonym to you? No, family and village is not a synonym. A village is a collection of families working together as one unit. A family is a single unit, but a village is a collection of families working together in unison. It's on the adults. You're right, Cleveland. They did take away from people from becoming adults. This is how they destroyed our communities. They can take resources away, but they can't take our knowledge away. They can't take our will away. They can't take away our ability to pour into our children. All they can do is take away resources, but they can't take away what we learn and what we've learned and what we know and our love and our ability to teach. They can't take that away. Said New Era Detroit is doing what? I'm done. Just to make sure I understand what you're saying. New Era Detroit is doing what? If you like understanding and are confused, you will forever be in Never Land. There you go. The desire is there on many of the branches of the family tree's capability to plan the work, then work. The plan is limited. I agree. We have to find a way. I think there's a small number of people who actually really want to make things better. I don't think it's a large number of people. The biggest problem is we have been convinced not to trust each other. There you go with kids, business, education, nothing. There you go, Cleveland. There you go. A lot of people need instruction, but who is going to give it? Who is going to accept it? And who is qualified to make the first move? That's another one of our problems. That's a barrier. That's not true. We have had many communities and created everything in this country. So why didn't we rebuild those communities? Because we had communities. At some point, we had communities. So why don't we have them now? What's stopping us from having communities now? What happened was when the communities we had, white people burnt them down, white people destroyed them. Why didn't we rebuild them? Nothing has stopped Black people from rebuilding communities. Why didn't we rebuild those communities? I never said we didn't have them. We don't have them now. We don't have communities now. But but our communities have always been in survival mode. Black people as a whole have always been in survival mode in America. We've never been in a dominant or a comfortable position in America. So, you said we were more successful. Black people work together. We worked together a little bit better in the past. You think Charleston is still think like that? Then you haven't been watching him. Charleston is an actor. Charleston is going to adapt to whatever environment he's in. But at the end of the day, I really don't rock with Charleston like that, to be honest. But I know he's an actor. I know he's not an idiot. Black Americans are too lazy to work together throughout America. I don't think we're lazy. I think it's more so of the distrust and the inferiority complex that we have. I don't think it's true laziness. And I know I may have used that word, but I don't think it's true laziness. I think it's more of the inferiority complex and the self-hatred. There is aspects of laziness in it too, but yeah. So I'm contradicting myself, but hey. He called people to work 12-hour shifts, 9 to 5 shifts for less money, lazy. Okay, I don't know what that means. Our families will never mirror the Eurocentric society model. We need to stop. Knowledge is not will. All right, let me go ahead and get to this second thing. So this is, thank God for slavery. Charleston White talks race, God, and more with Jesse Lee Peterson. So let's get into this one.
Were you ever into your Blackness as an identity?
No. I was in the bush what grown folks said. I never had an identity. That's why I played so many different roles.
So what do you think about the blacks that are into their identity? They're into being black, their color, and they're using that as an identity. What do you think about that? They're into their blackness.
Whatever a person identify with, it don't bother me. I identify with what's right, but I relate to what's black. I don't eat white people cooking. They don't cook.
Lee would
like
never
me.
ask a white person why he
me.
identify with white.
White people don't put grease in their hair. So
you think it's okay to be into your blackness? Is that the right way to live?
Yeah, why would
Love Muscle? Since we so close, and I'm not being condescending, but bring us up to speed. You saying we so close? Bring us up to speed. Tell us what we don't know.
It be white people into they white, Mexicans into they Mexican, Chinese into they Chinese.
But does it make it right though?
Yeah, make it right.
In what way?
What you mean? Everybody else is into theirs. Why wouldn't we be in the house?
Destiny has a problem with black people identifying with their black.
I ain't with that Dr. King shit. Everywhere I went, and I'm all black, I ain't getting treated like to go treat me. But listen, you better identify with your black.
And why?
What you mean why? Everybody else identify with your black.
I know, but that make it right because everyone else doing it.
Listen, red birds identify with red birds. Bluebirds identify with bluebirds. Zebras identify as zebras.
Amazing.
How you go not identify what you are? Nature. You didn't get to pick this.
Did you ever hate white people?
Yeah.
And do you still hate them?
Now he's about to say, Charleston about to say some ignorant shit about how he got over his hatred of white people. But you already see Jesse Lee Peterson on his dumb shit. Basically, Jesse Lee have never asked a white person, why do they identify with being white? He's never asked a white person that. He would never ask a white person that. So you better identify with who the hell you are. Because I get Jesse saying, well, we should identify as Americans. Why? So is that right? Is that right to identify by our nationality rather than our culture or our race? Who's right? Shut up, Jesse. All Jesse wants you to do is make sure that you make white people comfortable. Look at his face. Jesse just want to make sure you make white people comfortable. He is trying to bait them, but Charleston, look, Jesse isn't up. When you go on Jesse Lee Peterson show, you're supposed to go on your worst behavior. You're supposed to go and have fun and clown when you go on Jesse Lee Peterson show. Jesse Lee's a smooth brain person. You're not supposed to take it serious. So I'm not even mad at Charleston. Have fun. Say all types of outlandish stuff. Because Jesse Lee Peterson is a dumbass. And I do want to say this. Nobody, I'm looking at some of the comments. Nobody, and I mean nobody, there's never been a black person under the system of white supremacy who has had the answer or the solution to solving white supremacy. Not one black person. If so, we would be in a better position. Let me say that.
No, I didn't hate them then. It was just a thought. Because that's what you hear.
And how did you see white people at the time that you hated them? What made you hate them?
Listening to bullshit as a kid. Same reason white people fear black people. Listening to their bullshit uncles and granddaddy. We don't get to know one another until we grow up and start going to school, going to college, getting our own jobs. But in the beginning, we sitting around at Christmas, hearing our uncles say some racist, hearing our racist granddaddy say some white people sitting around hearing racist, black folks sitting around hearing president. Ain't
Jesse
no
is
words
a troll. He a fool,
so
but it's funny. Jesse is a professional troll.
Children mimic what they see and repeat what they hear, whether it's right or wrong. So even a little white kid.
Oh no, the Republicans
don't know what
name Jesse Lee Peterson. Nope.
Same with the little black boy. I got a racist teacher.
Nope.
You don't know racism.
Is a Republican.
Most black people don't know racism because racism is so hidden in the fabrics of this country. You don't know it's there, mother.
Most Americans don't know racism. I will go on the limb and say most Americans don't know what racism is. Even white people don't know what racism is. So, I mean, once again, the concept of race and racism, it's a power relationship. It's a group power systematic dynamic. It's not supposed to be in your face. It's not supposed to be subtle. It's not supposed to be something you just point out. Not in today's times. It's not 1865. It's not 1775. The occasional Negro gonna get hung from a tree, but for the most part, they're making sure that the majority of us cannot prosper. But at the same time, it's on us to make sure that we do fight the power. We got to fight the power. We can't just be like, oh, well, you know, white supremacy did this to Ike. Well, get your ass up and do something about it.
But it's there.
How did you overcome hated whites?
Oh, I started white girls at an early age.
You heard them, right?
Yeah, I started on white girls at an early age.
Look at Jesse.
My mama moved. Listen, I'm one of the first to live among white folks in the 80s.
Didn't expect that.
My mama moved us to Pantego, a notoriously known all-white community. Yeah, I went out there and realized white girl like, yeah. My mama them say, my grandmama them say, hey, listen, they not racist, but a black woman's biggest fear, if we move around white people, the white girls go holler rape. We done seen what happened to Emmett Till and every other that like to chasing that white girl. So now, man, once I went on white girls, ain't nowhere in the world like I hate white people, good at white girl pussy.
So what do you think about this war that's going on between the blacks and the whites today?
Listen, it's gonna be over with. I tell you all the time, go make a baby with white girl.
But most black people think that white people are their enemy today. What do you think about that?
They don't think that not after the Kardashian, after keeping up with the Kardashian, racism is just about to be over with.
But they use it for everything.
The mulatto, I got.
So be calm. You're saying the solution to white supremacy is always family. So that's a ideal that we have. Do you have any real world examples of family defeating the system of white supremacy? Do you have any real world examples of, because I don't disagree. I don't fully disagree, but I do understand the ideology that we have with that. But my thing with family is we need to have family, build I'm talking about the system of white supremacy actually being defeated and not existing no more. I'm not talking about people winning battles. I'm talking about actually truly defeating the system of white supremacy. Because white supremacy is still in place. White supremacy still is still in power over China, still in power over Vietnam. None of those places have replaced the system of white supremacy or ran out the system of white supremacy. So no, China is not dismantling white supremacy right now. China is waiting on white supremacy to fall. But China is a nation. So going to what I was saying, families create communities. Communities create nations, right? But white supremacy is still the most dominant force on this planet. Show me a real world example of China or Vietnam or Chinese supremacy toppling white supremacy like right now. Show me that. Give me a real world example of that right now. Because yes, a nation is supposed to oppose another nation. But remember, white supremacy itself is not just America. White supremacy is a global system. So you're telling me the country of China is opposing a global system of white supremacy? Is that what you're telling me? Because that's not true. White supremacy is not the United States. So you think the system of white supremacy only exists in the United States? For real? Come on, man.
I got mulatto babies, so I don't know racism. Yeah, listen, I'm one of the only niggas I know done damn near every race of woman you can think of. I done had lab, Japanese, so okay. I don't know nothing about racism. If that's how you stop racism, and shit orgies, hard as well, but that's how you stop that. But the mulattoes, The mulattoes is gonna save us.
Do you believe racism exists?
No, they're not. No, they're not.
No, not no more. Not after rap music and Michael Jordan tennis shoes and
I mean, we have to be calm. We got to roll this conversation back. You think the system of white supremacy is the United States alone? Answer that question, yes or no. Be calm. Do you believe that the system of white supremacy alone is just the United States? That's a yes or no question for you. Be calm. Do you believe that the system of white supremacy? So why are you talking about China and the U.S. when I'm talking about a global system of white supremacy, and you keep telling me about China and the U.S. Give me a real world example of families opposing the system, the global system of white supremacy. Give me examples of that. I'm not talking about, and even the stuff you're talking about America, they're waiting on America to fall. Give me examples of family opposing and removing the global system of white supremacy, being victorious against the global system of white supremacy. Give me that real world example. Give me, stop. You won't be acknowledged again until you answer the question. Give me a real world example of family opposing, removing, defeating, and being superior to the global system of white supremacy. Give me that example.
What's that yellow boy name? Stephen Curry.
Do you believe racism ever existed?
Yeah, you know it existed. Man, the way they used to ban it, they done. They made. Think about this. They used to have a whole doctrine on how to make a slave. It wasn't no before American slavery. It was Africans and Chinese, but the Nigger, they was made right here in America.
You're right, Tristan.
And what do you mean by that?
Racism exists. Well, they got a book on how to make the slaves. Once they stopped importing Africans into America, right? Once they stopped, hey, no more import, export African. Well, the United States of America told the world, y'all can't tell us what we can't have no more slaves. So we gonna start breeding these motherfuckers right here. Okay, we can't import them, so we gonna make them right here.
But in Africa, before the Arabs went there and bought the blacks from the other blacks were treated worse in Africa by other blacks.
There's no, Jesse Lee Peterson has no proof, no information to prove that. I can guarantee you Jesse Lee Peterson have no information to prove that Africans treated Africans worse than when the Arabs came in and treated them like slaves. You can't prove that.
I thank God for slavery, because I wouldn't want to be an African. I don't give a damn about Africa. I'm glad they came and got us and got our mother. I don't attach myself to Africa. I'm a proud American. Yeah. So I don't say to my mama, say all things work for the good of those who love the Lord and is called according to his will and his purpose. Absolutely. Slavery was a good thing. Yeah, they rescued our mother. I would have hated to grow up in Africa.
Hey, what I told you earlier, Charleston White, he's smart, but he knows how to play the part. He understands where he at, and he know how to play the part. So in this, he gonna be like, but I've heard him say stuff like that before, right? So you ought to know how I feel about black folk who say, that's Webb's. Jesse Lee said it. He said it. You got to talk to Jesse. He said it. He can't prove it. He said it. But Charleston White, once again, like I say, he's smart, but he's the broken clock that's right twice a day. But for the most of the day, you can't use the clock. Because any black person who would think that slavery was good for African people is a person who is only who's only thinking about the success, the meager success or whatever success that they are having as a black person. They're not, come on, you put a whip to Charleston back, you put all that, man, Charleston, come on, man, he ain't gonna be saying that stuff. No healthy black person who doesn't have a toxic mind state will look at the system of white supremacy, system of chattel slavery in America and look at it and see it as a good thing. Thank you, Black Titanic. I thank you very much. Thank you. So, yeah, Charleston, once again, don't ever take Charleston White serious. You know not to take Jesse Lee Peterson serious, but don't take Charleston White serious, even though he's not a complete fool like Jesse. But like the comment earlier, two outcomes of self-hatred, two outcomes of how the system of white supremacy has shaped people's minds who haven't reprogrammed themselves. Charleston White talks, he's read some books, but he hasn't really internalized this stuff. He hasn't really changed his mindset, because if so, he wouldn't even be buck dancing and stuff like he's doing, because he would understand the image. Because he was just talking about culture. Charleston White in the last video was just talking about the influence of culture. So if he understands the influence of culture, then he understands what he's saying, and he understands the negative effects that it has. So I'm just saying. Yep. When you're a black person who are comfortable in the system of white supremacy, of course you're going to say you're going to say slavery was a beautiful thing. But Charleston, once again, he knows what he's doing. This is why we keep failing. We will not drop shit that has failed. We theorated people that have a track record of doing reality FBAs to those. Hey, they crazy. He crazy. Charleston, Jesse Lee Peterson is a perpetual knee level. Charleston White do indulge on white scrotums on his knees. So yeah. Jens, what you missed Jesse Lee Peterson and Charleston White tap dancing for white people. That's what you missed. Great live episode, family. Everyone enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Henry. Thank you. Charleston White makes money off the backs of the people knowing full well what he. There you go, Webb Snuff. There you go.
And what we were near now, man. I'm so proud of slavery because it built some tenacious people.
Yeah.
It made, before slavery wasn't no, it was people. Then the niggas came along and the strong.
Well, see, he just contradicted himself. If there was no niggas before slavery, then how was the treatment of each other worse before the white man showed up? Because niggas treat each other the way we're treating each other now. Not black people or Africans, niggas do. So he just contradicted himself right there. First you say you glad slavery happened because of the way we was treating each other, but there was no niggas before slavery. Make your mind up.
But nobody else strong enough to build America like them were.
Are you a Christian?
Space 44 super agents. The next thing you can't live without. No setup. Just say hello.
No, man, I'm a believer. I'm not no Christian because you got to read the books. And I don't want to read the doctrines. I just want to believe that God exists and that Jesus walked the earth at one point in time. No, I watched my mama. So I ain't no Christian. I just believe.
And you believe what?
That God is real and you can talk to him without the preacher. You ain't never got to read the Bible to access the Holy Spirit.
And how has that helped you?
Well, boy, I used to be a mother back in my day. I used to then believe in God. Then when I tried to start believing in God, I went to Islam. And that's while I was in jail. I practiced the Islam faith. Then when I got tired of the Islam faith, I started serving the Crip God, the gangbanging God. Then once I got tired of the gangbanging God, I started serving the pimp God. Once I got tired of the pimp God, I just started serving Satan. I just started saying,
he served money God, now.
Booty.
He served money.
And then I got to the point where I submitted. I had an awakening.
You say you had an awakening?
Yeah, I had an awakening. It wasn't from no bad choices. I wasn't in jail. I had a dream one day. And in that dream, I was standing on stage talking to some children. And all of my buddies who was incarcerated with me in the juvenile facility, they appeared in this dream. And we were sharing our life stories with them. And then my brother appeared. Well, I got an older brother who's serving a 99-year prison sentence for a murder he committed when he was 17. And so at the end of this dream, we all enter into these individual doors with blinding bright lights. And so I wake up out my sleep. I probably was about 23, 24 at the time, trying to find that identity that you asked about earlier. And my mother had asked me, son, you want to go to church? And I thought that was strange. I said, no, because I wasn't into that. And it was like 2 weeks before Christmas. So
come back closer to your mic.
So it was like 2 weeks before Christmas, right? So I sat on the back porch and rolled me up a joint of weed and got high. And as I was getting high, I had this overwhelming fear or urge to go to church and put some money in.
You starting stuff, Tristan.
So I went to this church, sat on the back row, and this preacher walked out and he looked at me. First thing I said, well, damn, somebody done told this motherfucker I smell like weed. You need to get out of here. So I sit there, he began to preach about Joseph. He began to preach about Joseph in the Bible, how Joseph was sold into slavery and, you know, how God had favor upon him and all of that. And so at the end of his sermon, he said, when I walked out of here, I got a kick in my spirit. And the Holy Spirit told me to tell you that you're Joseph, young man. I resent males. So in my mind, he's picking with me. He playing them church games. He see I'm new. He said, I just want to pray for you.
He resent male. Just if you let a person talk long enough, they'll tell on themselves. Charleston White's, a lot of his viewpoints and a lot of his ideologies and the way he looks at stuff in his worldview is toxic, is tainted. I'm just saying. Nah, Tristan. Keep doing your thing, my brother. Keep doing your thing. When I saw it made me laugh because I agree with you. I agree with you, but you know, it made me laugh. But you know, the toxicity from Charleston's childhood is still prevalent in his life. The trauma is still prevalent in his life. One of the things that we can learn from this is why it's important for family planning. That's why it's important for healthy people to get together and create families, and create healthy families so you can have healthy outcomes, long-term outcomes with your family. Because he's revealing who he is. All these conversation factors has citing what I've taken surveys for companies to stratify the data points on conversation without the deity, permission, without repercussions. Yep. We are creative people. We don't need no slavery. That's why a lot of people don't want to survive. We have to understand that because people are for a reason, because you know why we are created. He speaks on a lot of real shit, though problems is healing. Healing doesn't sell. I mean, but I hear that. But we're not in the business of trying to sell. We're in the business of creating a better future. And I understand the revolution has to be funded. But now, if you're trying to tell me that Charleston White is the spook that sat behind the door, I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's the spook that sat behind the door. Because the thing, even in that, you can't, your message can't be destructive on one end, and then the other end you coming back, because we're venturing into the territory of like drug dealers. So the drug dealer who pass out turkeys during Thanksgiving, who pass out turkeys during Christmas, the drug dealer who may give the old lady down the street some money, he may help this, but he's still selling drugs. The message you're putting out overall, the main thing that you're putting out is disastrous for the people. So what you do on the back end, is it really helping? If the main thing that people are paying attention to, the main thing that's influencing people is destructive. Because it's one thing to, because it's like, I would say a better example of the spook that sat behind the door. Let's say you have an athlete. Let's say you have an athlete in the NFL or the NBA, and they're just playing a sport. They're not putting out any destructive commentary and destructive messages, all those things. They're not putting that out. They're just playing a sport. They don't have to say anything on the front end because all their work is being done on the back end. That's a better example. It's better than the message or the platform that I have on the front end is destructive, even though I'm helping on the back end. Well, does it really help if what you put out on the front end is destructive? Because are you really the spook that's sat behind the door, or are you more akin to the drug dealer? So, said Charleston white single-handedly turned real gang members into YouTubers and podcasters. It's on the internet. They could be in jail. Funny how God works in mysterious ways. And that's cool. That's cool. But if your message overall is destructive to the people, because I'm sure some drug dealers then deterred some other young men from doing bad things in their lives, but you're still a drug dealer. You're still destroying the community with your regular stuff. Give us a better message. What would be wrong other than losing money? Because if money is the main thing that drives him, you still not for us. The main thing that should be driving us to make sure we have a better future. So if the thing that drives him is the money, then we still have a problem. The message that he puts out, how he presents himself, could be a whole lot better. It could be a whole lot advantageous. It could be something more empowering, uplifting. It can be. It doesn't have to be this. But he understands that this works and it puts money in his pocket and it helps him as an individual. I'm just saying. You don't have to be in the spotlight to make the community better. You don't have to be famous to make the community better. You can just do it. The message you put out can be empowering. It can be uplifting. It can be positive. Or just don't say anything at all on the front end. Get your money and then affect the community in a positive way on the back end.
For you young man.
There you go, Become.
So when I went down to that altar,
we agree.
He started kind of recanting that dream to me and say that he see me standing on stage, sharing my life story with children, traveling around the country, impacting governments with my testimony. That man didn't know nothing about my story. So from that moment on, I had a spiritual awakening. And if you fast forward from that moment to now, I live and I've done everything that strange preacher man said that he saw me doing.
So do you have perfect peace?
Yeah, we do. We do live in that age.
If I don't, I'm gonna smoke some weed. Get my stuff.
What?
Yeah. If I don't have perfect peace, I'm gonna do just what every other American do. I'm gonna have me some wine, smoke a cigar, smoke some weed, and that's what brings peace. A man that good. All that other good.
So do you have perfect peace that comes from God?
I don't know where it come from. Sometimes it come from, not perfect peace. What's perfect peace when you got a wife and with you? Yeah, what's perfect peace when you got the kids saying, Daddy, I need this. What's perfect peace, man?
Are you married?
Perfect peace? Yeah, I'm married.
And how many children do you have?
Oh, I got 2.
Oh, okay. And what is it like being married? Are you married to a white woman?
No, I ain't gonna marry no goddamn white. Why this white bitch? I ain't gonna marry now.
Are you married to a black woman?
Just a disappointment.
Goddamn right.
And so what is it like? What is it like being married?
Stupid ass questions to get people rattled.
What is it like being married?
Man, I be wanting to everybody, and I feel like I'm in prison sometimes. I want to be a low down, dirty motherfucking single man, and her cousins and her sisters and get away with it, but I can't. I honor my vows. But man, sometimes I don't want to be married. Some days I tell her I don't want to love nobody. I want to be selfish. Some days I don't want to kiss you and say I'll be back, baby. Some days I don't want you or the kids saying nothing to me. And I don't.
You tell her that?
Yeah, we feel it, don't we? As men, don't we feel it?
What does she say when you tell her that?
Oh man, I'm like granddaddy and them. She can't say nothing. No, I'm like the men before women suffrage. No, I dictate. Yeah, I'm like the old vows. Cherish and obey.
How long you been married?
Years.
How many?
Yeah. 3.
Oh, 3 years. And so your wife is okay with you saying those things to her?
I done call her in the mall before shopping. I don't get it, baby.
In the well.
What you talking about, man?
Crazy.
I'm her. What you mean? Is she okay? Who go if I don't?
Charleston,
yeah, she got to be okay. We married. It's safe for better or for worse.
Amazing.
I'm like the old. Yeah, I'm like the old man back in the day. I'm like Archie Bunker and Edith. Just plain. I'm an Archie Bunker kind. Yeah, mean in the motherfucker in the house. Yeah, that's the kind they like. They don't like no holding no door open. They like a fuck good and mean. Call them a bitch every now and then.
All right, so let's go ahead and get to this last one. See, I was in the foreign military. We didn't fight with prayer. We got the memo. The shit works to control the socio-cultural aspects, but warfare requires steel and heat. There you go. Anybody ever want no warfare off of prayer? You're right about that. So let's get this one going. Let's get this last clip going.
Blacks were treated worse in Africa by
Listen. I thank God for slavery because I wouldn't want to be African. I don't give a damn about Africa. Yeah. I'm glad they came and got us.
We just saw that.
We grow up and start going to school, going to college, getting our own jobs. But in the
I'm gonna go back a bit. We saw the part where he was talking about the slavery.
I don't eat white people cooking. They don't cook like me.
Let me see.
Into being black, their color, and they're using that.
No. I was in the bush what grown folks said. I never had an identity. That's why I played so many different roles.
So what do you think about the blacks that are into their identity?
You're cool.
They're into being black, their color, and they're using that as an identity. What do you think about that? They're into their blackness.
Whatever a person identify with, it don't bother me. I identify with what's right.
There you go.
But I relate to what's black.
There you go.
I don't eat white people cooking. They don't cook like me. They don't season their food like me. White people don't put grease in their hair. So
you think it's okay to be into your color, into your blackness? Is that the right way to live?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be? White people into they white, Mexicans into they Mexican, Chinese into they Chinese.
But does it make it right though?
Yeah, make it right.
In what way?
Okay, we saw that one. So never mind. We saw that one. So let me just make sure it's something different. I think this may be just another version of the clip.
Well, they got a book on how to make a slave.
Yeah. We just saw that. So there you have it. Let me see if I can find. Hey, and Webb's enough. You cool. Like I said, you cool with me. I love to be challenged. I don't know at all. I love to be challenged. My only ask is if we just keep it respectful. That's my only ask is we keep it respectful. But I like the debate too. I like the debate. But no, it's all friendly to me and it's all good. And I ain't take nothing personally, nothing like that. So I love the debate. Not just be a little aggressive sometimes, but nah, it's all good. I appreciate you. You cool with me. You cool. Where's my comment? Where's the comment that I want to put on the screen? Because it spoke volumes. Both of these young men, two different examples of self-hatred. Two different examples. Because Charleston White was talking about how how niggas is created. The Willie Lynch letter pretty much is how to create a nigga. But two different forms of self-hatred that is on the screen that we was able to see. I think Charleston White is a whole lot smarter I think Charleston White is a whole lot smarter than Jesse Lee Peterson. But I still think Charleston White is a broken clock. I appreciate you, Lil Young Baby Thug. I do think Charleston White is a broken clock, but I think he's way more smarter than Jesse Lee Peterson. But at the same time, Charleston White is a traumatized older man, and we heard him talking about his upbringing. Heard him talking about his life. He has resentment for men. He resents himself. He resents his own existence. That's huge. That's big. That matters. That plays a part in how we go out and we do what we do. Yep. So it's like, once again, I understand, because even Jesse Lee Peterson has organizations that do some type of community work, but I doubt many Black people will look at Jesse Lee Peterson and say that he's a force in the community or he does good in the community. I doubt many Black people would do it. There are a lot of people who have organizations and do things for the community, but they are not for the community. And I peeped that game a long time ago. So once again, I will say Charleston White is closer to the drug dealer. I'm not saying he is a drug dealer, but he's closer to the drug dealer, where on the front end it's destructive, even though he may try to help you out on the back end, like where is this? Yeah, Be Calm. Like Be Calm said, who cares if you plant the trees if you're burning down the forest, right? Right. Jesse Lee Peterson is a perpetual person who lives on his knees and who lives for the validation from white people, for them to pat him on his head and tell him that he was a good boy and he did good. These are two examples of masculinity and manhood I wouldn't want to be repeated within our community. I'm not saying I am right. I'm just stating my opinion. These are two examples of maleness that I wouldn't want to promote within our community. I would want examples with better principles, better outcomes, better morals, better character for me. I think as Black people in America, it's up to us to decide whether we're going to continue to be just Black people in America or become Black America, become a nation of people, become a community. Hell, become families again. Start with families, go to communities, then go to a nation. And the only way you get a nation is you have to be serious about families, and we are not serious about family. Survival units, but not family. And I understand the way the family looks has changed, but we need to change it to a look that is progressive and positive for us, rather than one that just is. Because what we're doing now ain't working, and a lot of the leadership and the masculinity or the maleness within our community is inadequate. The maleness is inadequate. We need more masculinity and less maleness. We need more men and less males, more men and less boys. Just because it's grown and they got kids and they pay bills don't make it a man. What type of outcomes is coming from this individual? That's going to help us determine the manhood of this, not just the maleness, but the actual manhood that goes into this. We need more men and less males. So with that being said, it's my time, man. It's my time. I got to go hit in the gym and get my life together so I don't even know what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day, but I know I got to go hit this gym and get right. So I appreciate y'all showing up for the Saturday live stream. I appreciate everybody who showed up for our Friday breakdown live. And I'm trying to decide whether I'm going live on Monday for another book reading or not. So that's how we going. That's what I'm deciding. So the book reading Monday may be live, may not be live. We're gonna see. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And even I love good conversation. We may not agree on everything, but as long as we keep it respectful, we good. As long as we keep it respectful, we good. All right. I appreciate you all. Make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you all. 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 And look, I say it all the time. it's on us to make this better. So every day we need to make sure that we're going out doing what we need to do to be better, make our neighborhoods better, so we actually have communities. There it is. Y'all have a great Saturday, a great Easter weekend, and a great time to be around family and use that time to propel us into being better with our families and our community. So y'all have a great weekend, great Saturday. Love y'all. Stay black, stay proud, and be great.